Well, we're very excited to play Missouri. Man, are they playing well. And big physical team. You got a really good quarterback, really good running back. Wideouts, I love their offensive line, very physical. And then you go on the defense, and they got some guys now over there on the D line. And I was at Georgia and had the opportunity to play Missouri every year, and they always give you fits on the defensive line. And of course, Nick Bolton is, in my opinion, as good a linebacker as is in the SEC. So they're hot right now, and very, very well coached by Coach Drinkwitz and his staff. We're excited to get to Columbia, however.
First question is from Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hi, Sam. This rivalry isn't very old, but listening to Eli yesterday, it sounds like he thinks all the connections on the teams could lead to some, more bigger games in the rivalry. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are and what the motivation for getting that trophy in your trophy case is this year.
Well, it's a crossover. It's our crossover game every year, so it has to be. It has to be our rivalry game. I mean, it's a game that's on. We play an Eastern opponent, and we play them every year. So certainly, it's also a trophy game, and it hadn't been a strong rivalry over the last 4 years, but certainly. Because we recruit against each other, proximity is close, things of that nature. The kids on both teams would certainly know each other. That would, to me, that would equal being a strong rivalry game.
Yeah, and I wanted to get your thoughts on Rakeem Boyd's decision to opt out and kind of what the tailback situation looks like. Can you add Dominic Johnson this week?
Well, the tailback situation looks exactly like it did last against LSU with adding Dominic Johnson. So Traylon Smith will be our starting tailback, and you have Hammond, T.J. Hammond, and you have Dominique, and you have Buckner. And the thoughts on Rakeem, he opted out. So opting out means that you're concerned about the COVID virus, and because of those concerns, he opted out.
Next question is from Dave Matter of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Hey, Sam, I know your year at Missouri wasn't long, but does anything stick out, your memories, memorable or unique about that you're coaching under Coach Smith here in Columbia?
There was a place called Chevy's that I ate at a lot, Mexican restaurant. That stood out. I could put some weight on there at Missouri. Coach Smith was rest his soul, was such a wonderful guy and a great motivator. And I tell you, I coached high school ball at Trenton and Princeton, Missouri, and I was just so elated to go to Missouri, and certainly didn't last as long as we wanted it to, but I loved the kids there. I had a really good special group of offensive linemen there, and then the coaching staff there that I was able to work with was outstanding. So, I love Missouri. Obviously I spent some time there as a high school coach, and I'm a big fan of the University of Missouri. I'm the head coach at Arkansas. I think Eli said it yesterday. He's the head coach at Missouri. He's from Arkansas, and I'm the head coach of Arkansas. So obviously neither one of us have a problem with getting our teams prepared for the game, but very, very fond memories of the University of Missouri and the state of Missouri.
Thanks, Sam.
Next question is from Steve Moulton of WZZN.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. You mentioned it last week, and even heard in the press conference earlier this week about really doing a lot of film study on Missouri. And it's fair to say that you know this team pretty well after studying them up. Is this the most film work you've done on any given team before a game, Coach?
Well, we've had more time, obviously we were prepared to play them last week as they were us, and certainly that wasn't able to happen. So, yeah, I think just by the days and the time and those things, we certainly have put a lot of hours in trying to prepare and trying to familiarize ourselves with what Missouri does, what they like to do, their tendencies, and their players. So it has been, a lot of it's been simply because we had a little bit more downtime, obviously, over the Thanksgiving break. We had a little bit of downtime, and therefore we had a little bit more time to watch film.
And last Wednesday, I heard you say that you started that prep on Alabama. Are you expecting to play Alabama next weekend, Coach? And I'm just, if I could get a thought or two about Alabama since you've seen them on film, Coach.
Well, they're incredible. I mean, man, they got a good offensive line. I mean, really good offensive line. And, they got a Heisman candidate quarterback, and wideouts. They're Alabama. But I can't remember your other question. I'm sorry.
Are you expecting to play them next weekend?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they're it'd be our last game, and I let's say this: I have no reason to believe that we're not playing them. I have not heard one conversation that would say that we wouldn't play Alabama.
And if I also heard you right, Coach, you're also wanting to go bowling. You think this team has deserved a bowl trip?
Absolutely. I mean, the world's full of arguments and this, that, and the other, but most seasons when you win 3 SEC football games and you're scheduled prior to that 4 football games, most seasons when you win 3 in the SEC, that equals usually somewhere around 5, 6, or 7, and you go to a bowl. And do I think we've earned the right to do that? Absolutely, 100%.
Thank you, Coach.
Uh-huh.
Next question is from Bob Holt of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Sam. How you doing?
Hey, Bob.
Mizzou's obviously got some players from Arkansas that Barry recruited there, like Barrett Bannister and Akil Byers and Markel Utse. I hope I'm saying his name right. What do you thought of those guys? And you'd figure, kind of like your kids from Texas getting maybe a little extra fired to play A&M or whatever. Do you think maybe they'll be fired up for this game, a little extra fired up?
Well, I would imagine so, simply because they're, they want to perform well from the state that they're playing us, and they come from Arkansas, and certainly we have some kids on our team from Missouri and those things. But the bottom line is that you're playing an SEC opponent. You always want to play well. You always want to represent your university well, and there may be some extra incentive there from both teams. But the bottom line is after the first hit of the first whistle, then you're just playing the SEC football game at that point.
And I saw you tweet about your new jukebox. Have you tried that out yet? Did they get you a good model, or what you think about that?
Oh yeah, it's a super model, and it's a Rockola and a Rockola Fireball, and it plays CDs, and absolutely, the music's jamming around here.
Okay, you've already tried it out?
Oh yeah, I'm not just going to let it sit there.
Okay, thanks.